Hi everyone! Today we are learning how to play the Dice Throne Adventures Unchained expansion, but we're playing the one-shot adventures variant. This is a 1 to 4 player game. It's a dungeon crawler. This is an expansion on Dice Throne Adventures, so you need to have Dice Throne Adventures to play this. And Dice Throne Adventures is an expansion for Dice Throne, the original battle game, so you will definitely need at least one of the characters of the 39 currently available as of this filming. So in one-shot adventures, you are choosing one of 6 available maps, and you will be progressing through the map leading up to fighting a final boss. On the way to the boss, you will be fighting different level monsters, as well as collecting loot that's along the pathway. Today we are trying the Dragon's Den, so we will get that started. For setup, you will want to place out, you will choose your map. You'll want to take out the Minion decks from your Dice Throne Adventures. You will need also your loot decks from adventures. You'll need some combat points trackers and health trackers for the minions. You will need the chaos dice, 5 chaos dice, and you'll need at least one loot die here. Some things you won't need. You won't need the gold tracker. We will not be collecting gold, even though there's a lot of gold on this map. We won't be collecting gold during this one-shot adventure. Also, there is a loot card for the one-shot, specifically for the one-shots. Today we are featuring the Raveness character from the Dice Throne Outcasts edition that just came out. And so we've set up her board, her leaflet, as well as her status effects. We've shuffled her cards. So the health tracker, which normally would be set at 50, but depending on how many heroes are playing, you will want to set it, your health to that. So for this adventure, looks like for one hero, we will need to set this to 60. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And you will start with 2 combat points for each player will start with 2 combat points. And for my special setup for the Raveness, she starts with her Raven Nevermore, which will start with 0. I'll put that on her board. Also for setup, you'll want to go ahead and set aside all your status effect tokens. You'll notice that these are acrylic tokens. Actually, it was a gift from a good friend of mine. And I'll put a link on the Etsy page from which she got them from. If you have more than one player, then you'll want to go ahead and determine a first player by rolling the loot die, and the highest number will go first. And go ahead and take their standee or miniature if you have them. So I will go and take my Raveness. And this miniature will represent the entire party. So even if you have more than one, you will still only use the first player's miniature as your token. And you're going to go ahead and put this on the start. I'll go ahead and put that right there. Now, I did want to point out that these are, again, for the minion cards and the loot deck. Normally, you would get your minion decks and loot decks from your Dice Throne Adventures, but today we are featuring the ones that came in Dice Throne Adventures Unchained packs. So we are only playing with those cards, even though I could have mixed them in with the regular Dice Throne Adventures. Next, before we actually start the game, you'll notice in Hero Setup, it does say that for one hero, the health will start at 60, but all characters will actually start with loot cards. Now, this is different from Dice Throne Adventures regular. So for the one-shot adventures, you will start with loot cards, and this tells us that we get to roll twice on the level 4 one-shot loot card. So let's go ahead and do that. I do have Now I do have, this is my dice tray. So let's go ahead and roll once for the first time. Looks like I rolled a 3. A 3 on level 4 is a common. So another difference with the loot is that for each one that you roll, you're actually going to roll 3. Now I have my loot cards divided in common, rare, epic, and legendary cards. So whenever you get to choose one, you actually get to draw 3 cards. So let's see, we've got 1, Sanguine Spell, Dark Prophecy, and Ecto Harvest. And then from the 3, you will get to choose 1 card. Let's go ahead and take Sanguine Spell. That sounds interesting. And we will discard these 2 cards. So now I will roll a second time. Not much better. We got an 8 this time. And an 8 gives us a rare card. So from the rare deck, I'm going to pull out 3. Looks like I've got Ghostly Essence, Spell Capture, and Soul Channeling. Let's take Flight. Ghostly Essence, which would give us Flight. And then again, we will get rid of these. And then I'll shuffle these cards back into their respective deck. Now, these 2 loot cards, again, different from regular adventures, is these will get added to my deck right away. So I will go ahead and sleeve these and shuffle them into my deck. Then as part of regular hero setup, you deal yourself as regular 4 cards to start. And now we can actually get started. Now again, in one-shot adventures, you will be working your way through the dungeon map. And at each point, you will be fighting either first level, second level, third level, or fourth level monsters. And along the way, you might be picking up loot or salves as well, which would heal you. And eventually you will end up at the very end, hopefully, where you will face the final boss. Now the boss can be any of the bosses that are, the 4 available bosses that are available in Dice Throne Adventures. But again, today we are featuring Adventures Unchained, Dice Throne Adventures Unchained. So today we will feature the Vault Witch as the final boss. The Vault Witch as the final boss. So let's go ahead and get started. So the character will start at the start and go right to the very first spot here. Looks like this is a minion. So we will start with battling a minion. So very similar again to the minion battle phase in Dice Throne Adventures. So first, you would spend any salve that you have. And if you have any salves, I'm going to use these tokens. If you have any on your board, then you can go ahead and spend them. And you can heal yourself for up to 6 health. Remember that you can always heal yourself up to 10 points above your starting health points. So we could heal ourselves up to 70 if we wanted. But I didn't start with any salves, so we will be skipping that step. Next, we will go ahead and determine who we are fighting. Because this is a level 1, we will draw randomly from the level 1 deck. And it looks like we are going to be facing a Corrupted Ghoul. Now, again, I am only featuring the Unchained cards that came out. However, you are welcome to mix these up with the Dice Throne Adventure minion cards so that you have a larger pool of minions to choose from. But today we are facing the Corrupted Ghoul. Go ahead and set up their health tracker. It looks like the Corrupted Ghoul has 7 health. So I will set the health here to 7. for the Corrupted Ghoul. And they start with 2 CP, or 2 combat points. So I'll go ahead and set up their tracker to 2 combat points. Now, it looks like they do have first strike. So in this case, the minion will attack first. Now, if they didn't have first strike, then we would go ahead and carry out a regular dice thrown turn, going through all the different phases, upkeep, income, main phase, roll phase, then second main phase, and then finally the end of turn or the discard phase. But because the minion does have first strike, they will go first this time. So let's go through the minions' turn, or their steps that they would take. So first is upkeep. So if any minions have any kind of status effects on them, we would go ahead and resolve those. There aren't any on this minion just yet, so we will go to the next phase. Normally the income phase, but minions will skip income, and they also skip their main phase. So now we will go directly to their offensive roll phase. If you are playing with more than one player, then the person to your right should roll for you, but the monsters will roll the chaos dice. All right, so the monster will now roll their chaos dice, and all minions have a roll objective. So this is what the minions are trying to get. So you will get up to the minions will get up to 3 rolls to try to get this specific combination. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Here's our first roll for the minion. And it looks like they want at least 2 of these symbols here, these slashes, and it looks like they rolled at least that, so we'll put those aside for them. Then they also want this gold swirl, so we will take that. And last thing, they need this die symbol. So that was our first roll, so we get 2 more rolls. We failed there, so we will try one last time. We did not get it. So if they don't get it, then whatever they do have left, you're going to see and resolve to see if anything matches here on the right. This is how much damage they would do. If I had gotten one of the 6s, then they would have satisfied this requirement. They would have been able to steal 2 health from me and take it onto their own. But they did not, so that attack for them is a whiff. I'm going to put these aside. So that concludes their turn. So now it goes to our turn. So again, we would start with any upkeep. We don't have any upkeep on our card right now, on our board. So next thing would be income. We always start with gaining a combat point. So we are up to 3 from 2, and we gain a card. Now I want to point out in one-shot adventures, just as in Dice Throne Adventures, that even though it's the very first turn, all players would get an income phase, unlike regular base Dice Throne battles. Normally in Dice Throne battles, the person going first would skip their income turn, but not so with Dice Throne Adventures or with one shot. So, okay, let's look at our cards that we can play. So we are now in our main phase, and oh, look, we have a So Wild, so that's great, and a Samesies. That's very fortuitous. This is not bad. I'd be able to, if I do Nevermore attack, I can activate Nevermore and then choose if that player is healed or receives 2 damage. That's pretty good for 2 CP. Or I could get some feathers if I wanted. Let's go ahead and try it. Let's spend 2 CP. Let's have Nevermore attack. Activate Nevermore. Now, when we activate Nevermore, the couple choices we have when we activate Nevermore is they could either move to a chosen player, or they could absorb vitality. if they're already on a chosen player. So in this case, we will go ahead and activate Nevermore to send them over to the Corrupted Ghoul. So they will be on the Corrupted Ghoul. Oh, and because we are spending 2 CP, I need to deduct that from my CP tracker. And yes, it looks like they are going, the character, the player that Nevermore is on, is going to receive 2 damage. So straight away, they are down to 5 health. Just like that. And because this isn't actually an attack, they don't get to roll their defense. So, all right, this card is now discarded. I'll put that there on the side and hang on to these other 2. And looks like I will go ahead and go on to my offensive roll phase. Again, I have 3 rolls to start. Actually, let's put this over here so I can see my board as well. Oh gosh, I've gotten a couple 6s there. So it's very possible that I could maybe get my ultimate, but let's see. Well, I'm a sucker for ultimate, so let's go ahead and set those aside. Now I'm wishing I didn't spend so much on that card, because I could have used my So Wild and my Samesies. But let's see what we've got. 2. Well, this isn't the best, but I do have 1 more roll left. However, for Raven's Sight, just needs 2 of these Talons and 2 of the Raven Eyes, and that completes that. And I can activate Nevermore again, and then deal 3 undefendable damage. So I think let's go ahead and do that. So, and then I don't have to spend for any cards. All right, so we can activate Nevermore. Whenever I activate Nevermore, again, I could either move Nevermore to a chosen player, or I can have Nevermore absorb Vitality. When they do, they absorb 1 life, and the target would lose 1 health. And then I will deal an additional 3 undefendable damage. Oh gosh, if only. Yes. So 1, 2, 3. They are down to 1 health. Oh my gosh. I wish there was something else I could have done, but unfortunately I don't think I could have. No. Let's leave it at that then. Next is our second main phase. With our second main phase, I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and spend my 1 last CP and do Midnight Dreary. This card allows me to roll 5 dice, and I would gain, for every feather that I roll, I would gain 1 feather token. And if I roll a Raven Eye, I would activate Nevermore another time. So that would kill the Corrupted Ghoul. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I will deduct the 1 CP that it costs to play this card. I will roll 5 dice. So good luck, bad luck. I didn't roll any feathers, so I don't get any feathers, but I did roll a Raven Eye. And with Raven Eye, I do get to activate Nevermore. So I will absorb 1 more health from them, and making that 2, which will kill the Corrupted Ghoul. So with that, this battle ends. So we will go ahead and get rid of the Corrupted Ghoul. Now, for Nevermore, anytime that a character dies, if an opponent dies, Nevermore returns back to the Raveness. So, and whenever Nevermore returns to the Raveness with absorbed health, it immediately gives that health back to the Raveness. So I will get to add 2 to my health. Now, every time a minion is defeated, once the minion's defeated, all players will get to roll for loot. Now, we just defeated a 1st level monster, so we will get to roll on the 1st level loot card. So I'm rolling my, let's do our dice dice tray. I'm rolling a d20 again for my loot. And it looks like I got a 7. So on first level loot, it looks like we're getting 2 CP, which is perfect timing. So we will get 2 CP added to our combat point style. Now, if the minion is still alive at the end of one player's turn, and there are more players, then the next player in turn will take their full turn to attack the same minion. We would not be able to move past the minion until they've been defeated. Then once all players have gone, then the minion would get to take their turn again. Now in this case, there is no more minion and no other players, so we'll go ahead and get to go again. So no other choice but to move to the next level, so to the next spot, and it looks like we are fighting a second level monster this turn. So let's go ahead and see what monster we are facing, or minion rather. Looks like we are facing the Hermit. Wow, very interesting. Now, the Hermit has 12 health and 5 CP, so let's go ahead and set that up. 5 CP and 12 health. Now, I also want to point out that if that any status effects that you get will remain on you until you remove them somehow, either with your own cards or abilities. But they persist through the dungeon. So, but in this case, we didn't receive any status effects, so we're good. Now, the Hermit does not have first strike, so we will go in a regular minion battle turn. In that, first again is if we have any salves, we would be able to go ahead and spend that to heal ourselves, but we don't have any. So we will go ahead and start with the hero phase first. So once again, we will start with any upkeep. I have nothing to upkeep, so nothing to do there. Next is income phase. I will go ahead and get my 1 CP and draw 1 card to my hand. Interesting, nice. Okay, next is, gosh, I'd love to be able to spend that, but nope. Let's go ahead and just hold on to this and maybe upgrade later. So let's go ahead and go to our offensive roll phase. Again, we get the 3 rolls total. And let's see what we can get. I do have 4 or 5. Let's see. Let's keep that. Maybe we'll be able to get a straight. Let's see what happens. Oh, or actually, looking at the dice that I do have right now, looks like I have Murder of Crows already. I just need 2 talons and 3 feathers, and I've got that. And if I do, I would deal 5 damage and then roll 4 dice, which might do something else. So again, without having to spend any cards, I think that's a pretty good attack there. So let's go ahead and go for that. So it's 5 defendable damage, but I get to roll an additional 4 dice, and let's see what happens. If I roll any more talons, I might be able to add to that damage. Okay, I did roll 2 talons. So for every talon, I will get to add 2 to my base damage. So that is a total of 7 damage so far. For every feather, which I have 1, you gain 1 feather. So I will take 1 feather to my character board, my positive status effect. And if you roll a Raven Eye, you get to activate Nevermore. I will send Nevermore over to the Hermit as my first activation. And yes, so that's 7 damage. And it looks like maybe I will spend 1 CP to do Talon Strike. For every Talon that I roll, I get to add an additional 1 damage. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, that'll cost me 1 CP, so I will spend the CP from my tracker, discard my card, and roll 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not the best roll. I only got 1 talon. I could spend CP to maybe get samesies and change one of these dice to do that, but I don't think that's worth it. So we'll just take the 1 damage extra. So instead of 7, I'm doing 8 defendable damage to the minion. Now, the minion has a defense roll, and they get to do a defense roll. So that's they get to roll 5 dice. They get to roll the chaos dice. Let's go ahead and roll that. And if they roll 2 of these swirls, they will prevent 3 damage. They do not. They only rolled 1. So they will take the full 8 damage. So they're going from 12 down to 4 after I deduct 8 points. And I think that's it for my second main phase. I could upgrade my defense. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll upgrade my defense since they're about to attack. That'll take 2 combat points. The cost of the cards to play is up there. And so that permanently upgrades my defense roll. So let's now go to the minion. And again, for the minions, first thing is they skip. First thing is if they have any upkeep. And because Nevermore is on their card, they do have to roll, they do get an upkeep. During their upkeep, they must roll 1 die. And things happen. So let's see. They rolled a 5. On a 5, that opponent loses. Let's take a look at this just so you can see. Depending on what they roll. On 5, the opponent loses 1 CP and the Raveness gains 1 CP. If they rolled a 6, though, the Nevermore's dial is reduced to 0 and returned to the Raveness. I could use my feather to have them re-rolled, but I think I won't take that chance. CP is pretty good, so I will take the CP. I will steal one of their CPs. They're down to 4. Okay, and now they skip their income phase, and now they go directly to their roll phase. So let's go ahead and roll their dice. Now they're trying to get 3 of these gold swirls and 1 of the white slash. So, looks like they got that. They got exactly what they needed. That and that. And according to their card, if they do get that, they deal 3 undefendable damage, which means me upgrading my defense was for naught. But that's okay. Deal 3 undefendable damage and then roll another die. Depending on what they roll, something will happen. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh gosh, they rolled a 6. So they are also inflicting burn. So let's take a burn status effect. And that is a negative status effect that goes on the Raveness. And I will take 3 damage. So I'm down to 59. That is it for them. They don't get a second main phase and they don't have cards to sell. So we now go to our turn. So upkeep. We have a burn upkeep. Now for burn, you get to roll 1 die. Oh no, never mind. So for burn, as long as this is on my board, I will take 2 points of undefendable damage at the beginning of my upkeep. So I will go ahead and go down to 57, and that stays on my board. Next is income. So let's go ahead and gain a CP and draw a card. Let's see. I could upgrade my Murderer Crows. But with only 2 CP, I think I'll hang on to this and maybe do it next turn. I could also sell this for 1 CP if I wanted, but I think I'll hold on to that and let's go ahead and just roll, and hopefully the dice gods are good to us. Here's my roll phase. I could try Murder of Crows again. But I do also have a 2, 3, 4. That's a possible straight. Let's go for that. And hopefully we can get either 1 or a 5. Well, we got a 6. Do I have anything with that? No, let's go ahead and just roll that again. This is our last roll. This is our third roll. Well, we did get a 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is a small straight. And with a small straight, I would gain another feather. Now the stack limit for feather is 5. That means I can't have more than 5 on my character board. But I'm only at 2, so I'm good. Then I would deal 8 defendable damage. So again, they get to roll 5 dice. And if they roll 2 of the gold swirls, then they will prevent 3. They do not. And it didn't matter anyways, because we are doing 8 defendable damage, and they are only down to 4 health. So even if they were to prevent 3, they still would take, they would still die. So that finishes that turn. They are dead. And we earn some loot. Again, I will roll my loot die. And this is a level 2 monster. Minion, sorry. So let's see what that gives us. And I rolled an 8. And, but 8 does give us flight. Flight is pretty powerful, so I'm not sad about that. Now, there is a branching in our dungeon. So I can either go this way and take the treasure loot, which will allow me to draw from that, which would allow me to roll on that loot table, or I could grab the salve. I don't know that, well, let's do it. Let's go ahead and grab the salve. That might be very useful. So whenever you pass over these, you just grab that, and I'll go ahead and give myself a salve. And then follow the arrow. It looks like now we are facing a level 3 minion. So let's go ahead and reveal that. Looks like we are facing an Iron Maiden. They want straights, but looks like they will also reward us with a level 3. Okay, so that's not bad. Let's do that. So set the health. This starting health is 20 for the Iron Maiden, and their starting CP is 1. Oh, I forgot to return the Raveness back to myself. Iron Maiden does not have first strike, so that means we will actually get to start. Now, I could go ahead and spend this salve. That'll give me 6 health, but that would put me... no, it won't put me above my starting 6. It won't put me 10 above my starting health of 60. So maybe I might as well spend it. Let's go ahead and spend it and give myself 6, which will put us up to 63. Next is our, so then now we go through our phase again. We still have that burning, so we will take another 2 damage. So we'll need to figure out a way to remove that burning. Next is our income. We will receive 1 CP and draw another card. Not bad. Let's go ahead and spend this. This is triple up. It takes 2 CP. That might give us a card that will allow us to get rid of this burning. So I will spend the 2 CP, and it says draw 3 cards. Perfect. Get that out of here. This is what I'm looking for. What status effects? They were together. And Vegas Baby. Perfect. Great. That was a really good hand. I'll go ahead and spend the Vegas Baby. Costs 0 CP. And it says to roll 1 die, one of my regular die. And I get half the value in CP. 4, not bad. I'll get 2 CP. So I'm back to 3. Perfect. And that means that now I can remove one of those status effects. Let's go ahead and get that out of here. For 1 CP only, I can spend that CP and get that burning out of here. So that is gone and will no longer affect me. And I think that's it. Let's go into our roll phase. First roll. Oh, let's move this over here. Well, we've got 4 talons. I could do my basic attack of Peck. If I have 4 of a kind. If I get another 3, I'll deal 7 damage. It's not the best attack, but that's also not too bad. Let's see if we can. It's our second roll. Nope. And our last roll. No. I think I'll stay with 6 damage. Let's do it. I didn't get a 4 of a kind, so I will not be able to activate Nevermore. Let's go ahead and just give him 6 defendable damage. So they get to roll for their defense. Their defense in this case is they are rolling 3 dice. And for each one of the ghost rolls, they will prevent 2. So let's go ahead and roll. Now, defense roll is only rolled once. They did roll 1, so they will prevent 2 damage. So instead of 6 damage, I will be doing 4 damage to them. They are down to 16. Now for my second main phase, I do not wish to play any other cards, so we'll pass the turn over to them. So again, for the minions, they will, if there's any status effects on them, we would resolve that during the upkeep. There aren't. So next is income phase. They skip income phase. They skip their first main phase, and now they just go ahead and roll for the roll phase. And this time they're trying to get straights. Now, for Dice on Adventure, there's a specific rule for trying to roll straights. You will keep any instances of 2, 3, any single instances of 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this case, I have a 2, I have a 4, and I have a 5. Now, you will only keep any 1s or 6s if that, with the other dice, if the 1 or the 6 will comprise a small straight. But this does not, because it's missing a 3, so we will not keep the 1, we will re-roll that. So here's the second roll for the minion. They rolled the same exact dice, so they will roll 1 last time. They did roll a 3, so we will keep that. And at last, it looks like that they did roll a 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a small straight. Now, they could also have gotten a micro straight if they had rolled just 3 numbers, 3 dice that are in sequential numbers. But they did do a small straight. It looks like they are inflicting Barbed Vine on us and then dealing 7 defendable damage. Now, thankfully, we had upgraded our defense before, so let's go ahead and roll for that. We're getting to roll all 5 dice. And on our dice, if for every talon that we rolled, we only rolled 1, we would deal 1 damage back. So they are down to 15. If we rolled 2 feathers, which at least 2 feathers, which we did, we would prevent 2 damage. So instead of the 7 damage, we will take 5 damage so far. And if we had gotten 2 6s, we would activate Nevermore. Yep, I think that's fine. I'm deciding whether I want to use my same dice. No, let's keep it at that. So we will be taking 5 damage instead of the regular 7. So we are down to 56. Okay, now it's back to our turn. So status effects. Now we do have the Barbed Vine. And this means that a player afflicted with this token would receive 1 damage for each roll attempt after the first. So really, we only get 1 roll when we get to our offensive roll phase. And then for every additional roll we do after that, we will take 1 damage. But it does nothing during the upkeep phase. So we can ignore that for now. Next is our income phase. As always, we will get 1 CP and draw another card. Tip it. That's pretty good. Oh, nothing was there. All right, I don't think I want to play any of these cards. Let's go ahead and go on to our roll. Oh, wait. No. I could play this for 2 CP. That would remove all status effects, which would include the Barbed Vine, but that would also include my other positive status effects, and I don't think I want to do that. So I think I'll keep it. And hopefully we can get what we need with one roll. We'll see. What do we got? Well, if I spend my samesies with the one roll, I could change this into a feather, and then I'd be able to do my Murder of Crows again. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and do that. So I will spend 1 CP for samesies, which allows me to change any die to be to the value of an identical die. So we will change this to a 5. So that's 3 feathers and 2 talons, which we've got from Murder of Crows. So right now we will do 5 defendable damage, but we will roll 4 dice. And for every talon we only rolled 1, we get to add 1 more damage. So we will do a total of 6 damage defendable. And then for every feather, we gain feathers. So there's 3. So I do gain 3 feathers. That's also not bad. And if we had rolled a 6, we'd be able to activate Nevermore. Yeah, I think that's fine. So second main phase, I don't think I want to spend anything for second main phase. So now we go on to the Iron Maiden. So again, no status effects on Iron Maiden. So and they skip their income and main phase. So let's go ahead into their roll phase. Again, we're trying for straights for them. We will keep the 2. And we will keep the 3. Now there is a 1. But we would need a small straight in order to keep the 1. So we would have needed a 4 in order to keep the 1. Because there isn't any, we would lose that and re-roll that. And there is also a 6, but again, we would have needed a 4 and a 3, a 4, and a 5 in order to keep the 6. So we will have to re-roll that as well. Their second roll. Again, a 1, which doesn't help, or the 6. And now for their last. They do get a 4 and a 5, so that does make a small straight, which is what they had last time. So again, they are inflicting Barbed Vine. Now, Barbed Vine has a stack limit of 1, so they wouldn't give us anything more than the stack limit, so that will stay there. But they will be dealing 7 defendable damage again. So we'll go ahead and roll for our defense one more time for again 7 defendable damage. Again, for every talon that I roll, I'm dealing 1 point back. So that's 3 damage back. So they are down to 12 health. And for every 2 feathers, which I did roll, I would prevent 2 damage. So I will take 5 instead of the 7. So I am down to 51. Okay, that ends their turn and now goes back up to us. So again, nothing there for upkeep. So let's go ahead and go to income. We gain 1 CP and draw 1 card. Penalty, I think I'll go ahead and sell that for another CP. And I think I will go ahead and upgrade my Murder of Crows. I've used Murder of Crows a couple times now, and I should have upgraded this earlier. But let's go ahead and upgrade that. And let's go ahead and roll. See what we get. I've got a 3, 4, 5. I could get a straight, but again, I could roll again, but that would mean I'll take 1 damage. Let's do it. So I'll take 1 damage for this roll, down to 50. Doesn't help, 3, 4, 5, but I do get Murder of Crows yet again. So, and I did just upgrade it, so it's increased the damage from base damage from 5 to 6. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's, and I'll get to roll 5 dice instead of 4. So 6 damage, defendable damage of the Iron Maiden, and I get to roll 5 dice. And let's see what we get. Okay, so I rolled 2 talons, so 6, adding 1 for each talon, so that's now 8. I gain a feather, but I'm already at my stack limit of 5, so I can't get any more feathers. And I did roll a Raven Eye, which does allow me to activate Nevermore. So let's go ahead and send Nevermore to the Iron Maiden. And I think that's as good a thing as we can get. And so that we are doing 8 defendable damage to the Iron Maiden. They get to roll 3 dice. But they failed. Oh, no, sorry. They did get 1, so they will prevent 2. So instead of 8, we are only doing 6 damage to them, but they are down to 6 health. And that is it for our turn. Now, upkeep for the minion. They do have Nevermore, so that means that they get to roll 1 die and see what happens. They rolled a 1. On 1, the opponent gains Hex. That means they can't roll any 6s. Let's go ahead and give them a Hex. Or I could spend a feather. I could spend 2 feathers to increase or decrease the value of the Nevermore die by 1. I'll show that to you here. You can see right there. If I spend 2 tokens, increase or decrease the value of the Nevermore die rolled by 1. They did roll 1. If they rolled a 2, I could activate Nevermore twice. So maybe that's not bad. I'll go ahead and spend the 2 feathers to increase this roll of 1 to a 2. That means I get to activate Nevermore twice. They will absorb 2 health, which means the Iron Maiden is down to 4 health. And if I spend 3 more feathers, which would be the rest of my feathers, I can activate Nevermore once again. So let's go ahead and do that. So Nevermore is up to 3. And just to show you, the maximum of Nevermore is 3, so they won't go anything above that. And their health goes down by an additional point. So they are down to 3 health. Skipping their income, skipping their main phase, and now for their roll. Again, they are wanting straights. We keep the 2, 4, and 5. Not the 6 or the 4. Reroll these. Also reroll these again. One last time. They did get a 3. So that is a 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a small straight. So that's the same thing they've been doing to us. Small straight. Can't inflict any more barbed vines. It is 7 defendable damage. So we will go ahead and roll for our defense. We will do 1 damage back. So they are down to 2. And if we get 2 feathers, we would prevent 2 damage. So instead of 7, we will take 5. So we are down to 45. And if we get 2 Raven Eyes, we get to activate Nevermore. One more time. They're down to 1 health. Oh gosh. But unfortunately, oh wait, no, they won't, because Nevermore can't go above 3. So they won't. In that case, instead of activating Nevermore to absorb Vitality, I think I'll just bring Nevermore back, which will give me 3 health. So I'm up to 48. All right, that is the end of their turn, and now it is back to us. No upkeep, CP, and draw a card. And it looks like we have Helping Hand. That might be useful in forcing an enemy to re-roll their dice. So let's go ahead and hang on to it. Yep, and let's go ahead and just roll. We just need to do 1 damage. Looks like I've got a small straight. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'll keep that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Small straight will deal, I would gain a feather and deal 8 defendable damage. They will get to roll. There are 3 dice. And let's see how many. They do prevent 2. So instead of 8 damage, they will take 6, which will kill them since they are down to 2. Very good. And we now roll on the 3rd level rewards for that. So again, with our trusty loot die, this is 3rd level. Let's see what we get. Looks like we had a 20. 3rd level, we get a legendary card. So again, for one shot, we will get 1 legendary card from 3 to choose from. Gosh, these are all really cool looking. You know what? Let's do Mercy of Death for 2 CP if they're down to 7 or less. Sorry, less than 7. We would do 6 undefendable damage. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and do that. So into my sleeve, and we will shuffle this into our deck. Okay, I think that's fairly shuffled. And then discard these. I'm going to just put these in the bottom here. Okay, so next, do you want a level 1 reward or a salve? Let's go ahead and do a salve. So I'll pass over that and get another salve. And now we are facing a level 4 minion. So let's do that. We have a level 4 minion. Looks like we are facing a Swamp Dweller. Swamp Dweller has 30 health, and they start with 6 CP, and they get a King's Hand token. King's Hand token is useful if they ever whiff and not get their roll objective. Spending that could allow them to roll again if they roll 4, 5, or 6 on a die roll. Looks like they inflict poison, and whenever an engaged opponent would become inflicted with poison, deal 2 as an isolated source of undefendable damage. Wow, okay. All right, let's set up their health. They've got 30 health. And they start with 6 combat points. All right, let's get started. They do not have first strike, so we will start the turn. Again, nothing to upkeep here. Let's go ahead and heal. Let's go ahead and heal for our 6. So it brings that back up to 54. And our CP and a card. Looks like we got a double up. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's one CP allows us to draw 2 additional cards. We have Cull and Friend or Foul. This is our promo card. Let's go ahead and do that. So it says roll 1 die. That would be a regular die. And let's see what we get. We got a 1. So if we had rolled a Raven Eye, we would have gained 2 feather and inflict hex on a chosen opponent. Any other outcome, we draw 1. Okay, sounds good. Let's do that. We get to draw a card. Oh, and that costs 0 CP, which is nice. And we got Twice as Wild. Not bad. Twice as Wild will cost 3 CP. I might want to use that. So maybe I will get rid of Helping Hand and see if that additional combat point might help us. All right, let's go ahead and roll. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a small straight. Let's see if we can get a 5. Nope. Last one. Nope. Okay, small straight it is. So we would gain a feather. And we would deal 8 defendable damage. So for their defense, they get to roll 2 dice. And and they got a gold swirl here, which would mean they would inflict poison on us. So we will take a poison. And now that's... oh, and they take 8 damage. 8 damage. So they are down to 22. And now I don't think I want to do anything else. I could do my what status effects, but that will remove everything. Maybe I'll hang on to it for now. All right. So again, they skip their no status effects, so no upkeep. They skip their income and main phase, so now they go to their roll phase. They are trying to roll 1 slash and 3 gold swirls. They got that. So now we get to reroll these. Alas, they did get it. So that is what their roll objective is. So they do their toxic touch. So they inflict another poison on me, which, yep, no, that. And then inflict an additional poison, which will put me at my stack limit. Now, each of these poisons could do 1 point of damage during my upkeep. So that is potentially 3 damage there. So that's not good. Now, they also do have a passive ability here. Whenever an engaged opponent would become inflicted with a poison token, also deal 2 damage as an isolated source of undefendable damage. Because they just gave us 2 poisons, that'll deal us 4 undefendable damage. Ouch. All right. We are down to 50. That is it for their turn. Now it's back to us. All right. We've got a bunch of... Oh, I forgot that I should have removed this at the end of the conclusion of the first roll phase. This only sticks around for 1 turn. So I'll go ahead and just remove that. I don't remember how many times I did. I think I did 2, but it's okay. We'll just leave it as it is. For each poison token, I will take 1 point of damage during the upkeep phase. So we will take 3 damage. So we are down to 47. I think these 3 poisons are outweighing the positive status effects I have. So I'll go ahead and I think spend my... Oh, wait, no. Let's do income first. Income, I get a CP and draw a card. So now I think I will spend 2 CP, 2 for what status effects? Removes all status effect tokens from a chosen player. So that'll be 2 CP. I'm down to 3, but I will get to remove all the poisons that are on me. Unfortunately, I also remove my positive status effects and the flight. Now, I want to point out that Nevermore is not a status effect. Nevermore is a companion, so it doesn't get removed by that card. All right. We've got some options here. I've got a 6-hit, a Twice as Wild, and a So Wild. That's a total of 3, 4, 5, 6 CP if I could use all of them, but I only have 3. Well, let's go ahead and just keep all that and let's see what we get. And moving on to the roll base. Wow, we've got 2 6s. That's not bad. I might try for ultimate and see if we can get it. All right, 1 last roll. Come on, give me 1 more 6, please. Nope, I sure did it. But I could spend my Twice as Wild. As good a time as any, I suppose. That'll cost all 3 CP, and I only had 3 left. So I'm down to 0 CP. I probably should have sold the card, but that's how it is. So Twice as Wild allows me to change these. That is now my ultimate, if they can change it. However they can. They have a King's Hand token, and if they have a King's Hand token, they can spend 1 per turn to try to change an ultimate. They will roll 1 die. If they get a 4, 5, or 6, they will force me to re-roll one of my dice. And it's a 3! So they fail their King's Hand token. They spend that. My ultimate stays, and I will get to lock in my ultimate and do that. So for my ultimate, it's called Fantastic Terrors. Activate Nevermore 3 times. So first activation is to send it to the Swamp Dweller. Second activation is to steal 1 health. And then third activation is steal another health. Or absorb vitality, rather. Next, I will inflict Hex. So Swamp Dweller can't get any 6s. It doesn't really matter because they're not trying to get 6s. And then I will deal 13 undefendable damage. 13 undefendable damage means they are down to 7 health. That was a great turn. Second main phase. I think I would like to... Gosh, Tippet would be so good, but I will sell the Tippet just so I'll be able to use Cull next turn. Not that it really matters, I suppose, but okay. Now it's for the Swamp Dweller's turn. They do have Nevermore, so they must roll 1 die. And depending on the die, something will happen. They get a 2. 2 means Raveness may activate Nevermore 2 times. So once we'll bring it up to 3, stealing that health. Second time is flying over to the Raveness, giving me that 3 health, which puts me at 250. And sounds great. Now they will roll. Again, they are trying to get their objective. And looks like they got it. So with their objective, again, inflict poison and inflict an additional 1. For each one, it will do 2 undefendable damage to me. So that's a total of 4. So I am down to 46. That is their turn. My turn, I will take 2 damage from the poison. Then we have our income and our card. Oh, Mercy of Death. This was our loot card that we got. Again, this one says, play only if an opponent has less than 7 health, and then deal 6 as an isolated source of damage to that opponent. Can't use it just yet, but maybe we'll keep it. And let's go ahead and roll. Looks like we got a 2, 3, 4. I could try for a straight again. Nope, not second exact dice. Looks like I got a 2, 3. Yeah, that doesn't help us. But looks like I do have... I can do my peck for 6 damage. I don't have any 4 of a kind, so I can't activate Nevermore that way. But it's still 6 defendable damage, which might be enough to kill him if... actually, it will be enough to kill him because he won't be defending. I mean, his defense doesn't mitigate any damage. But let's go ahead and roll to see what happens. Nothing happens. They just take the full 6 damage. They were down to 6 health. So that kills them. And they are dead. This is down to 0. And we get a level 4 reward. So rolling for level 4 loot. Got an 8. Keep rolling 8s. Looks like we're getting a rare. So again, common and rare, we get to draw 3. Eldritch Grasp, Feast of Souls, or Loot the Grave. Let's let's do Feast of Souls. That costs 0 CP. And 0 CP, and it looks like if I discard a card, chosen hero gets to heal 4. So let's go ahead and do that. I will sleeve this and add it to my deck. Yep, and shuffle this. Okay. These get discarded. Let's put these in the bottom. And now we are on to the final boss. So, for the boss setup, let's go ahead and clear the minions because we will no longer need the minions. Instead, we will need the boss, which again, you could choose to fight any of the 4 bosses that come in Dice Throne Adventures, but we are choosing to feature the Vault Witch from Dice Throne Adventures Unchained. So let's go ahead and put her here. Let's see if we can make room here. Put those cards here maybe. Move this map over. Now, according to the boss setup, for 1 player, they start with 45 health. So taking their health tracker, I will give them 45 health. 45. Let's put their health over here. And for combat points, looks like the upgrade combat points. So bosses have 2 decks. They are going to have their upgrade deck. So these are cards that will upgrade their abilities here. Then they have their regular draw deck, which will be separate. So we will take their upgrade deck. We will give that a good shuffle. And according to my boss setup, for 1 player, they start with 8 upgrade CP. So we will take their combat point. We will set it to 8. Then, after we've shuffled the cards, we will go ahead and draw an upgrade card. And depending on what it is and the cost, if we can pay for it, which we can, this is costing 2. So we will deduct 2 from their combat points. Upgrade. This will upgrade their capture ability for 2 CP. And that goes right there. Then we will keep going because they still have combat points. Their next one is Arcane Blast. That also costs 2 CP. So that's another 2 CP deducted. That'll upgrade their Arcane Blast there. Next, we've got Curse of Keeping, also 2 CP. So that'll bring it down to 2. And this next one might be their last one. And next one is, no, Arcane Blast 2 for 1 CP. So now they still have a CP left. So not the last one. Let's see if the next one, if this next one costs more than what they have left, then they will not be able to upgrade to this card. But let's see what it is. And it is Enthralling Stare 2. That'll cost 1 CP. So that is exactly 8 that they spent, and they've now upgraded their abilities. So now that they've upgraded the abilities, we will no longer be using the rest of the upgrade deck for them, so we can set those aside. Instead, they will be using their regular cards here, so we'll give that a good shuffle. And these will be the cards that they use for their main phase. Now, this battle is for the boss is similar to Dice Throne Adventures with a few changes. First of all, if there's more than 1 player, each player will keep their separate health dial as opposed to having 1 health dial in Dice Throne Adventures. Again, we are keeping all of our card status effects, hero upgrade cards on our own hero board. And if there's more than 1 player, whosever turn it was when they first entered the boss lair, that person will get to attack first. All right, so we will now start with the boss battle. So we are facing a boss with 45 health. Their starting CP is 2. So after their upgrade CP has been spent, they start with whatever it says for their starting CP, which in this case is 2. So that is theirs. All right, we are starting. We do have 2 poison that we don't like, but unfortunately that is there. So we will take 2 points at the start of the game during the upkeep. We are down to 42. Let's move things around here. I want to put my cards back there. This will be the monsters deck here. And there's my discard. So, okay. Let's get started. So we took the 2 points of damage. Then we got the CP and draw a card. Looks like we've got Raven's Sight. Sure, let's go ahead and upgrade that for 1 CP, and that is going on our Raven's Sight. And do I want to sell any cards? Nope, let's go ahead and roll. Boy, ultimate right now would be really great. We've got 1 Raven Eye there. Not enough though. Well, let's see if we can get another straight. Or maybe we can get Murder of Crows. If we can get a Talon. Yes. So we've got our 2 Talons and 3 feathers. Again, that's our Murder of Crows. This is upgraded ability. So that is 6 damage, and I get to roll 5 dice. For every Talon, I'm adding 1 point of damage, so that's now up to 9 damage. If I roll any feathers, I do gain a feather. And for Raven Eye, I activate Nevermore, and I'll go ahead and send Nevermore over to the Vault Witch. And so we are doing 9 defendable damage. So according to the Vault Witch, her defense roll is she rolls 0 dice. Instead, she gains chaos tokens. So she's going to get a chaos token and then count her current chaos. She has now 1. If she has 1 or more, deal 1 damage. So she's dealing 1 damage back. And that is it for me, for my turn. So I think I'll go ahead and pass it on to the Vault Witch. So now the Vault Witch acts a little different than minions. So for for bosses, they actually get to take a full turn, very similar to player's turn. So first we start with upkeep phase. Now we do have Nevermore there, so she has to roll for Nevermore. She gets to roll 1 die, and she rolled a 1. And a 1 means that they would gain a hex. That is not bad for a boss that can do an ultimate. So I'll go ahead and give her a hex. Now the hex will only last for 1 turn, but it's still pretty good. Next is income phase. They do get a CP. So they go from 2 to 3. Next is their main phase. So they draw the top card from their deck. And this card will give us their role objectives. So in this case, their role objective is trying to get 3 of those yellow swirls. But this also, if they can afford the cost of this card, they will go ahead and spend this. This is a main phase card, so they will go ahead and do this now. It says the active player places Vault 2 on their deck. Each time they would draw 1 or more cards, draw 1 less card, and reduce this vault by 1. So I am the active player. So it says the active player places a vault on their deck. So on my deck, that goes. Each time I would draw 1 of my cards, I would have to draw 1 less card and then reduce the vault by 1. And then when it's removed, then I can draw cards again. So their role objective is 3. 3 yellow swirls. So let's go ahead and roll that. Here's our first roll. Oh, forgot to reduce the combat points. Now, if the cost of their card is more than they have, for example, we have 2 combat points. Let's say this was 3 combat points instead of 1. Then instead of activating this, they would instead sell this card for 1 CP, gaining the CP, but they would still have the roll objective. It would still be the same. First roll, they got 2 of the 3 that they need. Second roll, they got their 3rd, and they have 1 more roll, but they got their objective. So next, we're going to look at whichever ability they have that best satisfies this. Now, if there are multiple choices between what the objective has and their abilities, you will take whatever is the higher number. If you notice on the lower left, there are numbers. For example, this has a 2, this has an 11, etc. So if there's more than one ability that could be triggered, you will take whichever number has the higher number. Now, unfortunately for her, she only has this one ability. Looks like she's going to gain 4 chaos tokens. And chaos tokens have a stack limit of 6. So she is up to 5 chaos tokens. She will inflict hex on me. Tube can play that game, as she says. And then she's going to deal 4 undefendable damage. So I will just take the 4 damage, which puts me down to 37. All right. And second main phase, nothing happens. So then it goes to my turn. Poison's still on me, so I will take those 2 damage again. I'm down to 35. I get my income. And normally I would draw a card, but I would draw 1 less. So instead of drawing a card, I instead decrease this 2 down to a 1. And I go on with my turn. So I think nothing for my main phase, but let's go ahead and just roll. Oh, because I have the hex, I can't count any 6s or 6 symbols. So I won't be able to do my ultimate this turn. But looks like I've got a 2, 3, 4, 5. I could get a small straight if I can roll a 1, because remember 6s are useless this turn. Ah, I rolled a 1. So there's a large straight. Perfect. So I do a large straight. I gain 2 feathers, up to 3. I get to activate Nevermore. Since Nevermore's there, I'll go ahead and steal 1 of her health. She's down to 44. I think I forgot to do her health last turn. I believe I did 9 damage. So I think she would have been down to 35. All right, we are neck and neck. She does get to roll a defense. 9 damage. So now I deal 9 damage. So now she's down to 26. Second main phase, I have nothing yet, so I pass it on to her. And all right, so for upkeep, again, she gets to roll 1 die for Nevermore. And she rolls a 3. And a 3 means that I can activate Nevermore. So I will go and activate Nevermore for 2. Actually, instead of doing that, I think what I'd like to do, I think I will do Cull. I will spend 1 CP and do that now. This is an instant card indicated by the red border. So that'll cost us 1 CP. And I can change the value of the Nevermore die roll. I think I will change that to a 2. I think that's the best for us. So that means that I will activate Nevermore twice. So she will steal 2 health going to her maximum. And she is down to 24. All right, that's for her upkeep. Now, for her income, she gets 1 CP. And she draws this card. which will cost 2 CP, and she does have that. Oh, I almost forgot. When you draw cards, on the upper right-hand corner, you'll notice that there are symbols on here. The active player will get the benefit of that symbol. So I should have gotten a +3 attack damage from last turn. So let's go ahead and add that now. Actually, I think I'll go ahead and just spend that, and let's pretend that we added that damage to my earlier attack. So she will be down to 21. But in this case, this symbol is 2 CP, so I will get an additional 2 CP. I'm up to 4. But this one says, the active player places Volt 4 on their health dial. Whenever any hero would heal by 1 or more, reduce the amount healed by 2 and reduce this Volt 4 by 1. So gosh, so that is reducing it by a lot. Okay. So basically we won't heal. But it looks like their role objective is to get 2 6s. This is no longer active. That is gone. Okay. So let's go ahead and roll for the Vault Witch. They want 1 slash, 1 gold, and 1 6. They just need to roll another 6. Let's see what happens. Nope, that was their second roll, and then their last roll. Alas, they did get it. Oh, and this 6 is gone. So, looking for this ability, looks like they are wanting to do this, Binding Manacles. If there's anything else that is better, that is higher number, nope, Binding Manacles it is. So, it looks like they are going to inflict Wither on us. That just, Wither means that as long as we have this token, we will do 1 less damage whenever we attack them. Then they're going to deal 9 defendable damage. Then they will remove all chaos tokens and add 1 for each token removed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are doing 5 plus 9. So that's 14 damage right to us. 14, my goodness. That brings us down to 21. Wow, we are neck and neck right now. So. Oh, wait, no, that's defendable. So let's just see what we can do for defense. So right now they are doing 14 damage, but let's see if we can mitigate any of that. So I deal 2 back to them. I don't mitigate any of the damage, so that's fine that I took it all. But I do activate Nevermore, so let's go ahead and bring Nevermore back to us. Brings it down to 0, and we will heal for 3. That's good. That was our defense. Nothing for them for second main phase, so now it's on to our turn. So again, we will take the 2 damage there because I still haven't gotten rid of that. And now I will roll, income. We get 1 CP, and normally I would take a card, but because this is on there, I will reduce this down to 0, but I still won't be able to take a card. So let's go ahead and just roll. We've got 2 6s. I think now is a good time to go for it. Get 1 more. Come on, just 1 more. Yes, perfect, because I will do a So Wild for 2 CP. So making that a 6. Then I will also spend 1 more CP for 6-it. And change that into 6. So now I'll be able to do my ultimate again. Oh, I forgot to add their King's Hand tokens. With one starting player, with 1 starting player, the boss does get to start with 3 King's Hand tokens. So let's go ahead and give them these 3. And that is important because I just rolled an ultimate and they can spend 1 King's Hand token per turn again. If they roll a 4, 5, or 6, I must re-roll one of my 6s. So let's see what happens. And they rolled a 1. So my ultimate will stand. So first I will activate Nevermore 3 times. So 1 to send her over there, and then twice more to steal their health. They're down to 17. Next, I will inflict Hex for their next turn. And then I will deal 13 undefendable damage. So they are down to 4 health. All right, that is the end of my turn. I don't think I can do anything. Oh, well, we might as well do this. Play only if an opponent has less than 7 health. So let's go ahead and deal 6. They do have less than 7 health. Deal 6 as an isolated source of undefendable damage to that opponent, as long as I can spend the 2 CP, which I can. I have exactly 2 CP. So they are down to 1 health. No, I take that back. They die. I will deal 6 damage to them. So they are dead. So Vault Witch has been defeated. Okay, so once you defeat the boss, you just go straight to the scoring. So for the score, what you would do is you would add together all the remaining health of all the heroes, and then add 6 points for each remaining salve that we have. We don't have any. And then adding boss bonus points, if any. You can take a look at this on our rules here. So we currently have 22 health left. We have no salves. And we are fighting the Vault Witch. So we currently have a total score of 42 points. 22 plus 20 for the Vault Witch. Final score of 42. And that's how you play one-shot adventures. Thank you so much for watching.